Through for What, episode 5. Today we're talking to former Red Sox and Cubs baseball player Ryan Kalish. 2 rings to his name. 2. And Ryan has a very, very interesting tale to tell. He once dedicated his life to stuff like this in the show.
Kalish hits a high fly to deep right. Zobrist going back at the wall. It's a grand slam. Ryan Kalish with a grand slam to open this one up. Red Sox lead it 11-2.
And then in post-career, he now dedicates his life to things like this.
Okay, here we go. Close. It's gonna be nice. Okay, for you. Yes. And then you can. You like? Here. You can try. Yeah, like this. And then when you're finished, look. Whoop. And again. Good. Good.
Where if you're not watching on YouTube, that was Ryan going to poverty-stricken areas in Southeast Asia and offering children things like food, water, blankets, clothing, toys, hygiene necessities, basically anything kids and adults need who are in need. And I mentioned many times before that I had a spiritual aspect to everything that I've gone through that I would open up about, and I just wasn't ready yet. Well, we're going to open up a little bit more during this episode because Ryan kind of went through a very similar thing. So enjoy. He's one of the best people around. For Who For What, welcome episode 5. We got Ryan Kalish right now, former Cubs and Red Sox Major League Baseball player. And you have one of the most unique urban legend stories I have ever come across in regards to baseball, my friend. And I want a direct answer on this, whether this is true or not. I read that you did not swing and miss at a single pitch your senior year of high school. Now, I think that is virtually impossible. Is that true?
It's true. I struck out looking once. But
that's it?
There was foul. No swing and miss. Just foul balls. If I'm like, no swing and miss. At that time, I had this really wide spread out stance. I didn't really have much of a load. And I was just using I didn't even hit a lot of home runs at all in high school. I want to say I had four that year. So I was real average hitter, speed guy. And I would just stand up there and just, when you kind of play that summer league ball and you're facing, the guys that are going to be in Division I all the time and major league style players. And then, kind of going back, the competition wasn't as thick. So
naturally.
Yeah, I was gifted with my contact for sure.
You're obviously gifted with more than your contact. You were heavily recruited in high school. You played quarterback. You got offers to Virginia to play. You were going to play 2 ways at Rutgers, weren't you?
Yeah, well, it was 2 ways potentially. Also going to be potentially football, baseball at UVA. But I was undecided at the time. So yeah, I was I did this drill where my dad we had a UPVC pipe and he would drop these, not golf balls, but the same size as golf balls. And he would drop them through the hole and I would have to get them before they would hit the ground. So when you do these sort of maniac drills at 6 a.m. in the morning before school starts every day, you're kind of getting a little leg up on everyone else.
That's interesting. I heard Bryce Harper did the same thing with kind of throwing it into the fan and the little golf balls and trying to hit it. My father would just yell at me if I played wiffle ball, and he said it would be messing up my swing, not playing with the real baseball bat. But what are you going to do? Hey, you made it to the show. I got recruited in high school, started the season 0 for 16 with 8 strikeouts. That was the end of that dream. What are you going to do? But talk about your road to the show. Like when did you actually realize that
Mm.
you were destined to make it there, or at least have the talent to make it there?
Man, I was 9, like I was young, and I hit this ball over a fence that was kind of not really in play at that age. And I was like, oh wow, like you're good at this. And then, you're watching these games with your dad, and it's just like, well, this is obviously my goal. So like, why not dream massively and go for it? So it was always kind of there. It was a deep seated belief at a really young age. It was kind of all I really wanted to do growing up, and then it just became more and more real. And it was always kind of like going through the minor leagues. There were some minor doubts from time to time if I went through a period of slump or struggle, but it was always a feeling of like, yeah, you're gonna do it.
So you always had it. You always had it up here.
Yeah, my
Yeah, it's
mind
gonna
was
happen.
good. Like my mental skills in that game were really, really strong. I mean, you could even in high school, and it happened like pretty rare, but you would never be able to tell what kind of game I was having. I was very strong on like what I was gonna put outside of me. Like I could be 4 for 4, it would be the same vibration as 0 for 4, and this really helps to mitigate slumps. Where it's like if you're really high or low, depending on the moment, it can be really challenging to succeed in the long term.
See, you say that, and I understand that, like going 0 for 4 and going 4 for 4. But your 0 for 4s, I'm guessing, weren't a golden sombrero 0 for 4.
No, no, no. They might not.
Exactly.
Oh no. Well, in the pros, I don't. Man, that's a great question. In the pros, did I ever strike out 4 times in a game? I want to think not. Like, but it maybe 2 or 3, like 2 or 3K games, and there were moments where I'm like, this was kind of where it was all internalized. So if I was really, especially during the game, maybe after the game, I would like need a friend to talk to and be like talking it out. But in the game, I could go from like standing in the outfield, being like, I suck. Like I need to find a new career already. Like I might as well not even continue. I'm never gonna make it. I remember that in Double A. But by the time I got up to the plate for the next at bat, I was completely back to like, all right, I might be struggling right now, but I'm still really good at this game, and there's no way this is gonna last long. So I had that ability to like be very present and move on from doubtful emotions quickly.
Yeah, almost like living in the moment. Like you're just
Yeah,
living in that now. That's
yeah.
funny though, being in the outfield. You really are just out on the island with your own thoughts out there. That's it. And then all of a sudden something's cracked your way, and it's like, oh mother,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're back into it. What was it like coming out to Fenway Park for the first time?
Well, it was a pretty quick call up. I had like 3 hours notice. And so when you got a very quick, like get to the stadium, put on the uniform, Max Scherzer's pitching, you don't really got a lot of time to overthink anything. So it was really the butterflies, the jitters, but like it was epic, like it definitely brings a new it definitely brings, yeah, like a new intensity to your game, playing at that level with all the fans. So yeah, I mean, I settled in well. I got a hit in my first at bat, which was really nice to kind of just chill me out. Made a nice catch against the wall coming down the line, which also kind of knocked the jitters out. So, but every day in the big leagues was a little bit of a like, holy, I'm here. It's like you're looking around. So that was cool, man.
It's the show, man. It's the show.
The show. I played with, the one was wild was playing against the Yankees for me because I grew up a Yankee fan. Got Jeter Cano, A-Rod, Teixeira, Posada. You got that's who
Hideki Matsui.
I don't know if he was around when I played against, but like, and then
Godzilla wasn't there in 2010. He was there in 2009 against the Phillies. I know that.
yeah, I think he had moved on. He had moved on, but Jeter was my guy, and so and then like I hit my first home run. I only hit 4 homers in the big leagues. That was my first one was there, and then I'm 1 for 2 lifetime off of Mariano Rivera and gave him a blown save, so that's dope.
Yes.
Like
Suck that, Sandman.
the greatest of all time got a blown save by this guy.
Wait a second. You've had 4 career home runs in the show, and 2 of them were grand slams.
Yeah, that was they were all in that rookie year. Yeah, it was a really like good rookie year showing. Even just talking about it now, it's like if I had just had my health, I feel like I'd probably be just finishing or still going.
We gotta hit you up with the Tito story. Anything about Terry Francona?
Terry
What you
Francona.
got?
So, first of all, just really awesome guy, especially. He always really liked me, even in the minors, you know. Yeah, so basically what happened was I was facing Jared Weaver in the Angels, and he struck me out on this changeup down and away, and it was like a really nice battle. I came in, and he was like, "Man, don't worry, because you're gonna come up later in the game, and he's gonna throw you the same pitch, and you're gonna hit a homer." And I was like too mad to even like think about it. No, like I'm just like whatever, like cool. I just got K'd, man, in my head. But come up later in the game, bases loaded, 1-2 count, same pitch, grand slam, and I'm coming around the bases like, what? That was crazy, like he actually called it. That was the only time he ever tried to call anything, and it was perfect. So and I'm coming around the bases pointing at him, and overall, like the guy had just such a personality, man. It was really good to be around him. Yeah, really, really good guy.
Yeah, Tito knows. Tito was in Philly, managing the Phillies, his first major league stint, and the Phillies sucked. They were just awful during the 90s. And all of a sudden, he goes to the Red Sox, gets recruited by Kurt Schilling, and starts going on a run. It's like, oh, okay, go Tito. Why not?
Yeah.
How did you get along with the veterans on the squad at that point, like the David Ortizes and everybody else?
David was a good guy to me. Took me out, took me to places, dinners. So one of the things that sticks with me always, Tim Wakefield, obviously passed on now. One of the great. At the time, I think I have this correct, but I believe he was 44 when I was 22 in that rookie season. And he really commanded respect. And he said to me, he took me out to dinner, a couple of the guys, and like we kind of stepped aside and he took me to the bar. He was a little tipsy, but he said, "You're my favorite rookie of all time. And do you know why?" And I was like, "Not really." And he's like, "Because I know you fear us." And I was like, but it wasn't like a fear, it was like a respect. When like don't speak unless you're spoken to, just come in, do your job, like earn your way up the totem pole sort of thing. And so that always stuck with me because, yeah, I mean, man, when, you're first getting into these, like I grew up watching some of like David and those guys, and like now I'm playing with them. So like I'm not going to be loud. Like I'm going to just go try and win the game as best I can with the team. So yeah, it was really cool to get that sort of love from the older guys.
Was that Tim Wakefield closing, or is that starting Tim Wakefield with the knuckleball?
I think he was a starter at that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was starting.
Major respect to Tim Wakefield. Wait, why? It still bothers me. It doesn't bother me, but it still questions me why people don't um, develop a knuckleball in their arsenal for even just injury reasons to have a backup pitch. Like if you can't get that velocity up anymore, like, okay, just adjust. I mean, you saw Wakefield do it. You saw R.A. Dickey win a Cy Young off of it. It's like, well, just put it out there. Why not? I'm teaching my kid how to throw a knuckle.
Are you? That's cool. Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I will, maybe. When did you first start having some health side effects with the game?
I was 23. I dove for a ball, and it tore my labrum in my left shoulder, and then like it was kind of just like a spiral, man. From there, I can't even like. It's so hard to understand how it just never eventually like. I had one surgery when I was maybe 18. It was really minor, bounced back pretty well. And then when I was 23, man, I dove for that one ball, and then it felt like it was like this moving energy that like moved throughout my body all the time, and it just never would stop. And like, yeah, then all of a sudden, like 7 years go by, and I rack up 13 surgeries in that time period, and I'm just like, how did that happen? But like, it wasn't like it was very fun. It was a lot of rehab. They weren't small surgeries. Many of them were very big, like shoulder labrum repairs, neck surgeries, wrist, hip. Knee. The knee was like the ultimate ender. But the thing about me was that I always made it back to the show after every one of them. Every long rehab, I would go to AAA and I would dominate, especially the last one. After 12 surgeries, that was like, for me, man, I'll tell you a story. I don't know if this guy will ever see it. Gabe Kapler. You know Gabe.
Gabe Kapler? Where's he at now? He's in LA, isn't he?
No. So he had, yeah, he's now I think he's the general manager of the Marlins, man. He's a
The
big
Marlins?
time. Yeah, he's a big
Yeah,
time.
he was scouting director in LA, and then he was manager of the Phillies, and then manager of the
Yeah,
Giants. So that would
yeah.
make
He moved
yeah.
around, like really done a good job.
Hey, Gabe Kapler, I'll tell you what, great baseball mind, better biceps. If you have a
Yeah,
story about him, go.
wow. Yeah, so Gabe he managed for just a short period of time in with the Red Sox, like, and then he went back and played. But I met him for a while, and we became like pretty close. Like we would meet up in the off seasons in California. And anyway, at that time, I had 12 surgeries. I called him, and I was like, he's a real straight shooter, Gabe. Doesn't really beat around the bush. And he said, like, I was like, man, I was playing in Puerto Rico for Alex Cora at the time, right? And I was kind of struggling. And I told him, I said, Gabe, like, I know I can make it to the big leagues again. Like, I can do it. And he said to me, Ryan, I think you might have a better chance of winning the lottery. And it made me so mad. I didn't say anything to him. I just dealt with whatever he said. And I was like, oh my, like he just said that, and it like really brought out the drive in me. So Theo was with the Cubs. So after I played in Puerto Rico, I call Theo, and it's March already. It's like already spring training kind of started. And I was like, Theo, like I'm coming out to Arizona. Like, what do you think I can do? Like, because Theo drafted me. So he was like, you know what? Come out and take some batting practice for us with the Cubs, you know? And so I went out and I put on a show. Like I was smashing balls over every, like left, opposite field power, throwing, running, whatever. And they signed me on the spot. And then I go to AAA, and yeah, 5 weeks into the season, I'm hitting 400 in AAA. And unfortunately, around like the exact day, it was the exact day they called me up, my knee blew out. But I didn't tell anyone. I went up. I went up to the big leagues, played 12 games in absolute pain. It was really actually the least fun I ever had playing baseball for the 2016 Cubs. Technically, yeah, I did win a World Series ring, and that was like that was the final push. I had two more knee surgeries after this. Tried again to feel better, but my knee was didn't work out and ended up calling it quits. But I won the battle between me and Gabe.
Good. Good. And
Thank you.
next time you talk to him, tell him that, and then ask him why during his first managerial game with the Phillies, he not only took out Aaron Nola in the fifth inning of a shutout game against the Braves, but attempted to put somebody in when nobody was warming up in the bullpen.
That's classic. I would like to
Yeah,
know that too.
it's first game. First game. Still an urban legend, or just a legend here in Philly. Yeah,
So I like to see my career as it was a beautiful mess.
a beautiful mess that concluded with two World Series champions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was
I
really,
mean, you got two rings.
yeah.
Like, one more quick note about the 2012 World Series champion Boston Red Sox.
Hmm.
How? How? I still don't understand how that team in particular won a World Series going from worst to first to worst again after the Red Sox won two already in the early 2000s. Like I don't know how that justifies in this grand scheme of everything why Boston was given that championship with that team that was so unbelievably likable with the
Yeah, yeah.
beards, with the Scrappy, with the Shane Victorino. Like everything about that team was like what we want in Philadelphia for 1 year, for just 1 year to have it, to have 1993 like over again. How did that happen in 2012?
No, that's a good question. You know, these guys, when you find a meshing point and you catch momentum, you know, sometimes you're just destined. That's just the way it goes. I mean, it's impossible to know, but that team was beautiful to watch. You could see like how everyone was just friends. The vibe was good. Like you don't know what happens behind the scenes, man. Like that meshes a team.
What was next after the Cubs? What did you feel?
Well, retirement was really bad at the beginning. I mean, I was crying every day. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was feeling really down, depressed. And luckily, luckily, pretty soon, I made my way to LA because I was kind of a little nomadic, trying different places, moving around. But yeah, like I had like a real tough, you know, mental health moment. But I found Pilates pretty quick, man. I signed up to become a Pilates instructor out in LA, and so that was really a nice thing for me. I also accepted a job for the Dodgers. So, but I wasn't really prepared to be a coach yet. Kind of the other thing that was happening at the time was so I'm just kind of a truthful guy. I was really into marijuana and also psychedelic drugs. Kind of like, but it was like at the time, what I thought was functional was more abusive. But I was like flourishing, you know, the Pilates stuff was going well, the baseball coaching was fine. Not that like yeah, the like the marijuana and the psychedelics weren't happening during the baseball coaching. It was more like just during the time off.
Yeah, during your off
It
time.
was, it was like really expansive. Like I had tried some psychedelic drugs, but they were really expansive for me. I mean, I really found like a lot of healing and also expansion. But I think what the problem was that I was not doing it in like a medical environment around like therapist that could like, it wasn't something I was necessarily doing sporadically, like kind of on the weekends. And so it kind of really brought me to like this really expansive state. And what really, I mean, this is something that it's, man, I always wanted to like be a part of the change in the world. Always, like even years before any of this. Growing up, I always was like kind of not vibing with how I saw like the world and like how we're not taking care of people. Learning about different religions didn't vibe with me. I don't even know what happened, but basically, you know, what happened was I had this moment where I felt so connected to Jesus that the only way I could express it at that moment was that I was him. And it was like, so it's hard to like go through all the details. It's kind of unnecessary, but it scared some people. You know, I was out in San Francisco giving away $100 bills to homeless people and hanging out with like that crowd trying to help people, but I wasn't grounded. I wasn't
Yes.
doing something that like made sense in society. And also I said to one of my friends, yeah, like I'm Jesus. And so what happened was, yeah, they were worried. And unfortunately, I kind of got tricked into a mental institution against my will. And it was like, again, there's so many things that happened. That was 2019. You know, obviously we're in 2026 now. So we're talking about a 6-year window right now. And also a lot of beautiful moments.
Well, this is why I appreciate talking to you, and for those listening, Ryan and I kind of connected through a community in which stuff like this is talked about a lot, as it's becoming more prevalent in today's world, and more people are going through these sort of journeys.
Yeah, when you have this experience and you get connected to, let's call it the source or God, which is kind of, you know, actually when you really look at the Bible, the stuff that was like Jesus' own family thought he was insane. It's actually in the book. Like literally says this. Like his parents, his mom and his brother came and said, Jesus, come with us. You're crazy. And Jesus says, who are these people? They're not doing the will of God. Then go away. So he kind of expels his own family. So you kind of see like, and then you hear the things he said, like sell your possessions, give to the poor. So you kind of realize that, you know, in modern society, that's what would happen to Jesus. He would end up in a psych ward. Like he would be, you know, seen as mentally unstable, at least in some portions of those stories. So, but again, like society has never really pampered to the spirit of a human. Like the powers that be, you know, the mental health system is set up in a way so that we, like for me, for example, back then, you know, it wasn't like I didn't have money. I had enough money to be, I mean, not like doing what I was doing all the time, but like when I got into this psych ward, this mental hospital, it wasn't like I had somebody being like, so let's listen to your story, and me tell them my story and then say, well, you know what, Ryan, like you're not Jesus, but like we could help you to maybe live a life more aligned with Jesus and make it more responsible so that everyone will understand you. No, they don't do that. It goes directly for a label and some pills. And so, you know, and then so it's like it's a whole system in place to keep us disconnected from our divinity. So it's not that experience didn't need attention, because yeah, I was too out there.
And you weren't aligned.
No, I wasn't aligned. I wasn't grounded. But if maybe like I probably could be, you know, have been doing what I'm doing more so now so much sooner had I had proper guidance.
Well, that's the thing that I've discovered as well in the American medical institutional system. It's the same exact way. I was fortunate enough when I was able to be hooked up with my psychiatrist, which, by the way, there's no way I should have been. I was very close to being dropped off at Chester County Hospital in the psych ward because there is no adequate way to directly handle stuff like this responsibly in America. There just isn't. You have to go to your GP first, and then you have to get diagnosed with something. And then, if you get lucky enough to see a psychiatrist on your own, you got to make sure that it's a good psychiatrist that doesn't just write out pills. And then, if you go into the hospital, they're gonna sedate you right away. Like, it's a completely backward system. But in Eastern traditions and everything that goes on across the world, they handle stuff like this completely differently.
Well, even in
Completely.
America, with the Native American community, they handle stuff
Yes.
like this completely different. So, I mean, yeah, I don't want to go too down. I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole, but obviously there's forces that don't want humans waking up.
Yeah, well, it's a mass awakening, so
Yeah,
it's
I mean, for me, I had to figure it out on my own. Most of like, and then not even to mention like the financial repercussions that are happening to you in America. Like you could lose everything in an experience just trying to connect to your soul. Because like we all have, I don't know, like we don't really know the nature of life and death, even though we all we have many theories of it, but potentially we're just souls, passing through. So it's like we don't take that into consideration, at least much in America. It's coming more and more. Like there's people waking up, which is awesome. And I mean, for me, it was always there. Even like when I was a 6-year-old boy, my mom said I was in Washington D.C. and I saw homeless people and I got really upset. I said, "Why are there such nice buildings and these people are sleeping on the floor?" So it feels like it was always coming to caring about the world and others. But when you get blasted, when it comes too fast, it needs tender, loving care, not pills. But I'm not saying that. This is the other thing, though. I'm not saying that all pharma is bad. But
yeah,
I think
sure.
it should be like the last resort. It should be very much tendered to the individual's unique experience versus you're hearing a few symptoms and just here's the pill and go ahead. Like that's not good.
It's definitely an improvements that need to be made. But that's awesome that you were experiencing essentially the awakening process your entire life, like you were born with it.
Yeah, I was born with it a little bit. I've never been I've never been on the same page as this world.
Spiritually speaking, you obviously came from a different mindset than a lot of athletes out
Sure.
there. Did you hide it kind of growing up and in your baseball career? Were you outward with it? Was it accepted? Were there other people in those shoes?
No, I mean, honestly, man, when it came to like spirituality wasn't a word that I would say I was really using, but like a lot of it was around religion. I had a lot of experience with religious baseball players. I listened to my best friend argue with religious guys day in and day out. So I learned a ton of stuff about all of this that was going on, but really like I was, yeah, I just always kind of felt a little alone in my way of thinking and the things I was into. And like I didn't, yeah, I like to party and I like to meet ladies and have a good time, but like there was always something like really deep about, I just want to say like I was always trying to improve who I was honestly, like with honesty and like just, yeah, if I made like a mistake, like there were things that would come up that would affect me so deeply where I would notice like other guys just didn't really care that much, so it was like that was always there, but it really, really didn't surface until like post baseball when I had time and experiences. The way I could say it is like a soul encounter, like really like feeling like what his pain was for our world, and also kind of feeling like sad for him because I feel like his message got hijacked pretty intensely.
A little bit.
I mean, no, I'm trying to be nice.
Like,
Especially in America. Well, no, the whole world. Because I've seen it all over the world. It's not just in one place. It's not just America. It's all over the world. The message of Jesus is completely not what actually the book says. Not even like the regular Bible, let alone the books that were taken out. So
we can get into Thomas.
Thomas
Mary Magdalene, if you
and
like.
Mary Magdalene, but we don't even have to go that far.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
you can kind of just get into the Gospels of like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John versus anything that Paul had his hands on, and those differences are like so massive. And so, yeah, like I was like, all right, well, especially this last year, it was about a year ago, and this like feeling of like you're not living your purpose yet. It came up like it had always been there. Like I'm a very anxious person when I'm not doing something I like. I learned that from baseball.
Individuality.
Like after baseball, I tried things, and if I didn't like it, it would be painful
and
for
once
me.
we
So,
understand our own responsibility to the universe,
but
then we
I've
have
always
to
been helping homeless
participate
people on the street,
in
and it always
the world
felt
in a
good. But
way
like then you
that
start kind of
benefits
looking
everyone.
around, and you're starting to see like there's a lot of people online kind of helping people. Like they're doing good work. Like they're doing this kindness thing. And I'm like, all right, well, let me go out there and start trying this. And it started Easter, basically, or my birthday, March 28th. I told my mom I wanted to help someone else. So I sent some money to this guy I knew in Africa to help a kid with some medical stuff. And then, whatever, I went to Egypt and I started helping Palestinians. But I wasn't really, like, I was doing, like, some videos. And then I was like, and then I went to Africa and I met this content creator who helps street people. And that was when, like, I was like, okay, this is, like, what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you need to walk the walk and show people what Jesus was really all about. And so and for me, as a baseball guy, I'm only going to do this one way, hard. Like,
fact.
There's no.
You don't tear Carlos Santana's knees up and his catching career and not go hard for Jesus after baseball.
Well, Carlos ended up playing like another 8 years and making millions, so he
not
was
a catcher though. Not a catcher.
True. That was a mistake. That was an intensity mistake, man. I played too hard. Anyway.
Hey, was it legal at the time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was not malicious, even though it looked really horrible. It really did. But anyway, more so like about the consistency and the work ethic. Like I've really conjured up a system where, I go out on these mission trips now, and I've been in just 1 year, I've been to the USA. I've been to Africa 3 times. I've been to Egypt. Egypt is a part of Africa, but it's a little different. I've been there twice. I've been to Jordan, and I've been to India 4 times, all since May last year. And so I've really, yeah, and I'm like starting to build like the online stuff. And I don't really love the filming, truthfully, but I really feel like it's necessary, man. And it's one of the most uncomfortable things to like go, like go do in a way, because like you kind of wake up and like your natural tendencies of the human condition to just like go to the gym and like want to chill, it always kind of comes, and there's like an uncomfortable to it. And then once you go do it, the after effect is like, dude, you're kind of high. You're a little bit high. But then, of course, like, I am trying to build this thing. I raised like $7,000 in 10 months. It's not like a huge amount, but $7,000 helps so
it's better
much.
than $0,000.
It helps. It's absolutely like the last 4 trips, I haven't paid for really much of the stuff I've handed out on the street because of other people. So like,
awesome.
So many thanks to all these people. That's what I realized. Like, this was always supposed to come out to the surface. So I can't show people who I am if I don't post. Third, I can't inspire anyone else if I don't post. And fourth, this world is so absolutely turned. It's evil in many ways that you can't, like, put out the love and fight the good fight for humanity. So it very rarely actually do I get anyone. I get like one out of every, I think 1 out of every 50 or 1 out of every 100 comments comes in like, you shouldn't put this on camera. And I'm like, well, no, I always just say, no, sorry, it's what I'm doing. Like, it's what I love to do. And until, what I believe Jesus was really trying to show us was like the human evolution, because I don't necessarily know if everyone, people like to say he was perfect. I don't think he was perfect. I think he evolved to a pretty perfect level of where he was so caring about and loving to people that he gave his life to try and help humanity, thinking it might go a different way. And obviously it didn't. Mark, Luke, and John, I actually just used AI to break down like the amount of I did it like a scouting report. Like, what? All right.
Can Jesus Christ hit a curveball? Can you answer that right now?
No. I mean, it's funny that you said that, because there's like.
And tell me Jesus Christ hit a curveball?
No, of course he could. But his like main thing was compassion to the poor. And he said it like, and what's even more interesting? 5 to 10% was about prayer. That's it. And he said, pray in your room in the dark, which basically means goes inward. He's basically, it's pretty obvious he was speaking out against the current religions, and they just offed him because he was obviously waking people up to a truth. Because there's so many voices that are saying this, but they're not living it.
Yes.
And I'm living it, like for real, like hardcore, to kind of be that walking mirror of like, hey guys, like, as long as we really don't listen to Jesus, we're always going to be in like, we're always going to be taking care of people on the street. Like, we could create a system that really listens to Jesus. And there's plenty for all of us here. Like, there's plenty. I heard a theory the other day. There's this really interesting Professor Zhang online right now.
Oh yeah.
He's really catching away. He like said, like, the power is not about money. It's about consciousness and like what you are making humanity aware of.
Well, there is an awakening going on. There is.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and we'll see how it all shakes, man. But for now, we just I mean, like, my mission is here, and I mean, I wish I love it, but I wish it didn't have to exist because it doesn't have to.
No.
It doesn't have to exist.
But that's your journey. That's what you're here for. You're here to show. You're here to walk the walk. And thank you for that, because I'll be dead honest with you. Like my wife didn't know who I was interviewing today, and I'd said, hey, like Ryan, I met him through a person we know, and like I showed her your Instagram page, and she just started crying. She's like, yeah, like this is it. Like this is it. This is beautiful. This is exactly like what you should be spreading and what we should be doing as humanity. So that it shows, and whether you get credit for it or not, like, thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks, man. Yeah,
because it does the ripple effect of what you're doing cannot be seen right now in this reality, but it's real. It is absolutely real.
I'm definitely tapped into the sort of stuff we've been talking about around like going inward during meditation, but even just some of my meditations on the walk, and I'm like imagining these moments that I want to have happen. Like they're already happened and they're real, and my body goes into these tingles, and it's like, just keep going, man. Like there's only one way to like where you want to go, and that's work. So, but also like that tap into the unseen, and the calling in the help.
What's something that you believe today that the baseball version of yourself would have never believed?
Well, I didn't believe in God back then.
There you go.
Yeah, I believe in... Actually, man, it's funny. I'll say this. I started believing in God 4 days ago.
What was the catalyst? What was the moment?
It was just this moment of like, I feel like I was made to not believe for this, like for a long time, but see if I would still show up for the things that you hear, like people wanting God to like ask people to do. And it was like just this feeling of like like this is the intelligence that has been put here. Like fire rises, water falls, trees are the set, like, like trees kind of look like our lungs. And I was like, this has to be orchestrated by something of a creator or God. And so I just was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to start, because I like think I've been praying or meditating, but I didn't really know what to. And it's like, well, we don't know, but like there's a feeling. And I just like really, it hit me. And I was like, you know what? All right. I think it was more like the denial of the way most people believe in God. So I like kind of denied.
100%.
I denied the entire thing. But like, yeah. And it's also like a part of the forgiveness, because so many of us don't even have the moment in time to think about this as much as me or you. So many people are just
One thing onto another.
One thing onto another, bills. Again, like the system is not set up for self-exploration, so
the food doesn't help.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna like forgive everyone who have misused God, because in a lot of ways they don't even necessarily understand. And I'm just gonna believe in a creational source, whatever that is, God frequency. And just let it, and just start talking to it.
If someone is going through a breakdown right now, meaning mania, psychotic, you need some medical, psychiatric attention, but it might actually be an awakening or something that you experienced, what would you tell them?
Oof. Wow, that's a really tough one because in so many ways you do need people. But if you go to the wrong people, you might end up somewhere you don't want to be. So try and, first of all I would say my number one advice is if you're going through that sort of awakening, don't try and attach back to the normal things that you would be doing in your life, such as getting your sleep, eating, going to work, but giving yourself time to check into what does this mean, and try and find people that you can talk to safely. And I would say also, like, if you aren't sleeping, it will pass. It always does. It's just like when you do blast open so big, you are going to go through a period of like deprived sleep because your mind is running and you're adding all these new thoughts to your mind, and it's going to make it difficult for you to rest. So also just know that it's normal and to take a breath. Meditation, I would say, huge. Jump on some breath work online, especially like some like a Wim Hof breath for those moments to kind of like ground you back down. Write your thoughts so they're not just swirling in your brain. And then find someone you can trust that isn't going to throw you into a mental hospital first.
Yeah.
This is really huge because, man, it really can it can really send you on a rough path for a while if you end up there. And you don't, again, it's not that you don't need a facility, but unfortunately these facilities aren't really set up for spiritual growth.
Yeah, and that's incredible advice. And there are many online communities now through social media or even just Googling that people are going through this as we speak, and it has been extremely prevalent, especially in the past decade. The grounding in community would be my two advices as well.
Definitely.
You're absolutely spot on. And one last thing, if 18-year-old Ryan, who never swung and missed a pitch, saw you now, what do you think he'd say?
I think he'd be stoked. I think he'd be proud, I really do. I actually went through a therapy session like this about a year ago where I took different versions of myself to meet me now. And I'm very emotional at the time because I was still like processing a lot. But yeah, it was like a lot of like being like nice. And that was, now even more so. I think you'd be super proud.
What's next? What can we raise money for? What can we do to help? What can we direct the vibrations to help you in your mission as much as possible?
Well, I mean, I have link on my bio on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. It's very simple. It's like a GoFundMe style website. You can make a donation. Like anything really, really helps me. Like it really does. And then sharing with friends, spreading the word. I mean, I'm really trying to, I'm just trying to build I don't even know what to say. I'm just trying to bring back and help this planet heal as best as I can, because I know I can't do it alone. None of us can, but we kind of got to get back to the fact that we definitely, I feel like we are here to transmute the evil and bring on the love. It's possible. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how many times I hear this is just the way it is. I'm never going to accept that. I'm never going to accept that line. So just
the boomer. That's what's going to be written on the boomers' tombstones. Everyone, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it's always been. Can't control it.
Nah, the more of us that come online and start raising our vibration and awareness towards I mean, just doesn't even have to be Jesus. I mean, just love. The better off we're gonna be. So,
and
yeah, that's it.
Individually, if everybody is able to do it as much as possible, and then all of a sudden we're just living in.
Definitely.
That's it. New Earth. Ryan, thank you very much, my man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Keep walking the walk, my friend.
Keep
doing it. It's an inspiration to us all. Really
is.
is.
Hell yeah.
Hello, hello. Hello, sir. You want a bed?
Oh, yes.
Come.
Yes, sir.
Food and water. Here, come.
Thank God.
I'm gonna give you this for your medical stuff.
God bless you. Keep continue this service.
I will. Okay. Can I ask you to do something?
Yes, sir.
Say a message to the world.
You are the motivation. Like you, many guys has to be born. God is not there. God is in us. When you are doing good to others, you are the God. When you are doing bad, you are the devil. So don't be a devil. Be a God. God is not visible. He is everywhere in us. So please, like Ryan, many Ryans has to be born. Thanks a ton.
No problem.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan sir. Love you, sir.
Love you too.
Love you.
Rise up, weary warriors, the battle's in the air. Not with violence, but with power in the words we declare. We fight from victory. The darkness has to flee. Step into the light, and the light steps into me. I saw warfare in the spirit, shadows moving in the night. But heaven sent a message. It's our time to rise and fight. Not with anger, not with weapons, but with truth that cuts like flame. Every prayer becomes a sword when we decree in Jesus' name. Intercessors, take your places. Lift your voices to the sky. Send up blessings, send up fire. Let the sound shake every lie. Guard your families, guard your peace. Stand in power, stand in grace. When the darkness tries to press in, we confront it face to face. Rise up, brave warriors. The battle's in the air. Not with violence, not with power in the words we declare. We fight some victory. The darkness has to flee. I step into the light, and the light steps into me. I decree and I declare, we are covered, we are held. Every scheme against our households will be shattered, will be stopped. The light is always stronger. Darkness bows and must retreat. When it stands before our power, it has no strength to speak. There's no going back to shadows. I'm advancing in the fight. Angels move in unseen places, pushing back the endless night. We will win against the forces that have tried to take our peace. Every warrior standing with me into the light, and the light steps into me. The darkness froze in fear when the warriors rise, declaring peace and protection. The darkness falls.